Hi, Catherine here from greenthickies.com, and today I just wanted to share a life update with you and tell you about my new diet. Now, if you've been following Green Thickies for a while, then you might have known that I was diagnosed with celiac disease maybe about a year and a half ago, and I'd not been eating a lot of gluten, but I had been eating it probably once a week. And what happens with celiac disease, it's an type of allergy to gluten, but it's like an autoimmune disease. So what it does is it destroys your small intestines so that you can't absorb the nutrients from food anymore. So even though I had a very healthy diet, I say I had like an 80-20 kind of healthy diet, or probably even in like a 90-10 healthy diet, where most of the time, like all week long during the week, I would eat really healthy food like green smoothies, my Green Thickies, and fruit, and healthy kind of vegetable based meals in the evening. But then at weekends I would have the occasional treat, like the occasional cake or pizza or whatever, and that was enough to completely destroy my body, because gluten makes you severely ill when you have got celiac disease. So I didn't know for 38 years of my life. So I was doing so much damage to my body. And when I found out, I did immediately go on a 100% gluten-free diet, and I also went back to a vegan diet at the same time, because originally I was on a vegan diet and I was very ill throughout my pregnancy and after my second pregnancy, and I got convinced that it was deficiencies in the vegan diet that caused it. But now, looking back, I really wish I had not believed that advice, because it was actually the homemade bread that I was making tons of throughout my pregnancy that made me severely ill and made me very anemic. It wasn't the vegan diet at all. If I had have had a vegetable and fruit based vegan diet, I would have felt amazing. So unfortunately I didn't. So I listened to the wrong advice, went on to a paleo style diet, which a lot of people do feel well on, but I didn't feel well, and probably because I wasn't like 100% about that. Like I said, I would have the occasional gluten thing at the weekend, which doesn't fit into the paleo diet either. So I was trying to be a little bit flexible and a little bit normal, and just not be so extreme about my food eating, but that didn't work for me. So so even after I became a vegan again, what happened was I felt immediately better from going back to a vegan diet, and I did feel an increase of energy, and I thought, oh, this is great, I'm back to feeling vibrant again. But like every 2 months, or not very often, but occasionally, I felt like I wanted a treat and have something that wasn't made from scratch, that wasn't like ultra healthy, like maybe like a gluten-free, dairy-free cookie, like a processed cookie that you buy in the store. I'd have one of those, not very often, but just to kind of, feel a bit more flexible in my eating, and that I can be a little bit normal and these kind of things. Have a bit of like birthday cake with my kids. They're also gluten-free and dairy-free too, so I could have a slice of cake, or so I thought. But every time I had one of these so-called treats, I would end up like flat on my back for like weeks, or sometimes like a month or even longer. I just had some kind of allergic reaction to it, and it just made me feel really, really ill. And I tried it quite a few times. I'd have a break and then I'd go back, and then the same would happen over and over and over again. And then I got to a point where I think it was over Christmas, and I'd stuck to being vegan, but I'd had some like non-alcoholic wine and some chocolates and things like that. I didn't go overboard. It was the first Christmas that I'd actually stuck to a really healthy diet, and I literally just had about like 3 or 4 processed items the whole of the Christmas period, which is about 2 weeks here, and everyone else was shoveling in the junk food around me, but I was very healthy, or so I thought. And then even after that, I was just laid up for a couple of weeks and couldn't move, couldn't do anything, couldn't get up out of the bed, couldn't get up off the sofa, couldn't look after my kids. It got really, really severe, and I didn't know what I was allergic to. I thought I've already cut out almost everything, but it's every time I have these processed foods and I don't know what's in them, because they contain like 30 different ingredients in the ingredients list, and I can't tell what it is that I'm allergic to. And I don't really want to go on an elimination diet where, you know, I add in one chemical at a time, because that to me is just like torture, really. Just like, oh, I'm not going to eat a chemical for like every day for 2 weeks just to see if I'm allergic to it and then try a different one. I'm not going to do that. So I just thought, I just want to be healthy. You know, I don't care what I eat, I just want to be healthy. So at that point, I decided to change my diet again. And finally, I have gone back to the raw vegan fruitarian kind of diet. And I have done this before. You might have seen my stories, but basically before I had my first baby, I was on this fruitarian type of diet for about 6 months, and I recovered from my chronic fatigue. I felt amazing. I had so much energy. It was the most vibrant I'd ever felt in my entire life. And after I kind of came off it accidentally. I didn't really plan to come off it, but I ended up in a place on holiday where I had no food, no like fruit to eat, and I could not get hold of any. They just didn't have any on this island that I was on. So I reluctantly started eating the junk food that was provided for me, got really ill, and at the same time I realised I was pregnant. It took me a while to realise I was pregnant, so I felt really, really sick during my pregnancy for the whole thing, so I didn't end up going back to the raw food diet at all. So that was what stopped me in my tracks the very first time. And after I quit the raw vegan diet that I was planning to be on for the rest of my life, I kind of convinced myself that it wasn't sustainable for the rest of my life anyway, and that I just wanted to be normal. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be able to go out and have a meal with my husband and do normal things and stuff like this. So I've been trying to be somewhat normal for the past, say, 7 years, and it just hasn't worked for me. It's just, my body just isn't able to do that. So I'm finally deciding, you know, I'm just going to go back to the diet that worked amazingly for me. I've done lots and lots of research into it again, and I really not only do I not think it's deficient in anything, I actually feel like it's completely optimal for human health. So if I have ever said that I don't think the raw food diet is something that we should be doing for any long periods of time in the past, then I completely take that back, because I was probably just trying to convince myself as well that there was some kind of nutrients that we needed from other sources of food. But when I've looked into it more, I've done a lot of research, and I realised actually there isn't anything else that we can't get from fruits and vegetables. If you don't believe me, go and do the research yourself and see what the conclusions you come to. There's actually so much more research out there now than there was when I first became a raw vegan 7 years ago. There's so many studies out there that tell you about the nutrients, and so much data out there. It's kind of a no-brainer at this point in history, really, because we've just got so much information that points to the fact that we actually are frugivores, which means we're designed to eat fruit. So this is my current stance, and I really hope that I don't ever deviate from this. Well, you never say never, but this is where I am right now, and I really do plan to be on this for the rest of my life. So in January this year, I went back to raw vegan, and I had, I didn't find it too hard. I didn't find it hard to get used to the food, because I was already drinking, you know, my Green Thickies. I was already having at least 2 meals, if not 3, sometimes 3 meals of raw food a day. So I was already kind of used to it. So it didn't really, my taste buds didn't need to get adjusted to it. My stomach didn't need to get adjusted to the levels of fruit that I was eating and that kind of thing. So I in the sense of just eating the food, I adjusted very, very quickly. It just all came back to me. I thought, this is natural. I feel really good doing this. But I did go through another detox, because the first time I went raw, I went through a 3 month of detox from hell, I called it. And this year in January, I also went through a detox. I don't think it was quite as bad as that first detox, but it still was very, very unpleasant, and it kind of wiped me out for a lot of the time. I had a lot of cold. I had one cold after another. And at the time I was thinking, is this really a detox? Because everybody around me also had the same colds, and I know that they were probably detoxing in the same way, but I was getting kind of doubts, and I was thinking, am I ever going to feel better? I'm just getting the same colds that everyone else is getting. So I just had one after another for 3 months, and then I had the flu, which was really horrible. I was just in bed for a week, and then continued to get colds after that, and feeling wiped out, and I was just couldn't really do anything. And this is why you haven't heard from me for a while, because I've been pretty sick for a while, and getting through this detox, and then finally it just all seemed to turn, completely change overnight, and all of a sudden I was completely well. I think it was maybe like 3.5 months into the start of the diet that I felt amazing again, and I've got my energy back, and I just feel the same vitality back that I once had, and I've been able to start running again. I haven't really been able to do any proper energetic exercise. Like, I've done walking and stuff, but no real really kind of energetic exercise for a long time now. So it feels so good to be able to just run and feel like I'm really truly alive. I feel like my daughter is 6 years old now, almost 7, and my son is 4 years old, almost 5, and the hardest thing for me about being sick for all this time is not being able to be the mother that I really wanted to be. I've not had the energy for my kids. I've found them completely draining, just really kind of counting down the hours until they go to bed each day, which is no way to live. It's no way to enjoy your children. And the best thing about this diet is that I can enjoy my children for the first time since they've been born, really. I mean, I enjoyed my first baby when she was born, but then after I got pregnant with my second child, I just really didn't get my energy back after that at all. So yeah, I can really enjoy my kids again. We can go to the beach, and I can play and run around with them on the beach, which I've never really felt inclined to do. Like, I've never really felt like I had the energy or even wanted to do it, but now I want to, because I've just got this energy bursting out of me. So it's just completely transformed my life in that way, and that's been the biggest transformation that I really have. And just it's transformed my relationship, because my husband was having to do so much of the work around the house, like things that I would normally do, he was having to do, and it was putting such a strain on everything, making life really hard for all of us. So it's really had a big positive impact on our relationship as well. It's also had a dramatic, my health has improved so much. My weight, I've lost quite a lot of weight. I don't think it's been quite as dramatic as the first time I went raw vegan, but I had a lot more weight to lose then. I think I had about 56 pounds of excess weight, and at the start it really dropped off really fast, like 7 pounds a week kind of thing, like a pound a day. It was just absolutely falling off me. But this time around it hasn't been so fast, but that's fine for me. I ended up actually eating probably more fat. When I first started the raw vegan diet, I ate a lot more fat than I did the first time I started the raw vegan diet, because I'd been on a ketogenic diet. So I was quite addicted to fat actually. So I kind of eased myself into it gradually, and the weight didn't come off as fast as it did the first time. But then again, I didn't have as much to lose. So I've lost maybe about 16 pounds, something like that to date. And I'm well in the middle of my healthy range, my weight range now, but I still do have a little bit of weight that I'd be happy to see go, but I'm patient with it. It's coming off at a rate of about £1 a week, and I'm fine with it coming off at that rate, because I'm in no rush. I'm going to be on this diet for the rest of my life. The best thing about it is I haven't had to do any measuring, no calorie counting, no weighing of food. I simply eat until I'm full up, which is the best thing about the raw vegan fruitarian diet, is that you get so in tune with your body, and it doesn't happen immediately. You have to wait maybe a few months for it to happen, but you do get so in tune with your body that your body just won't let you eat more than you need. You just physically can't. So there's no more binging. You just get to the point where you're like, I just can't eat anymore, and you stop. It's not like cooked food or junk food that it gets so addictive that even though this happened to me, even though I might be feeling physically sick because I've eaten so much chocolate, I can still eat more. I can still shovel it in my mouth. For some reason I just can't seem to stop. So it's none of those nasty side effects when it comes to binging, which is why a lot of people who have kind of eating disorders really do well with the raw vegan diet as well, although I don't think I had any kind of major eating disorder or anything like that, just the usual kind of eating too much and shoveling too much in your face and then trying to calorie restrict to lose weight, and calorie restriction does work, but it feels hard, you know. It just feels like an effort, like a chore, like you don't want to stop eating and you have to, and it's just not nice. Whereas you get a piece of fruit and you just eat it, and if you're still hungry, you just eat another one and the weight just comes off. It just comes off your body anyway. So it's amazing. And I could ramble on about the benefits of a raw vegan fruitarian diet until the cows come home, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. And I do want to just say that I've got a very exciting project in the works. Now that I've got my full energy back, I've got so many exciting things I want to do, all based around fruit, which is very exciting, and I'm going to keep you posted. And I've got so much more to share with you, so stay tuned to Green Thickies and I will let you know how things are going, and I will leave a link below for a fruit-based free recipe book that I'm going to give you if you want to get started on this lifestyle as well. So you can get that for free right here. And subscribe to my channel and like this video, and please share it with other people who might also benefit from a change of diet if they're struggling with health problems, or even if they aren't struggling too much, they'll still benefit, they'll still feel amazing as a result. So have a great day, and I will speak to you soon. Take care, bye.